Hey everybody, Cameron States here, the Hawaiian Trader. Welcome back. Wanted to get a little bit of perspective on a couple of different hot topics I think we have to look at in the market. One of those being earnings season, and I think we also have to look at some of the influences of other markets. So, for example, if you want to look at just the equity market or the stock market, you have to consider things like the futures market, the commodities market, other things that could be tied to our market, and some of the other kind of imbalances that we can find. And I could go on and on and on about my experience and what I think could be affecting the market. As always, you guys know it's a projection, right? I don't know. We never can really know, but it's interesting to speculate on it. It's interesting to look at some of the facts and the statistics around some of that information because it could be helpful. But what I want to do right now is something special. I want to bring in a special guest of mine, a good friend of mine, Jeff Tomasulo from Tactical Income, who runs a hedge fund. And he has over 23 years of experience, a real experience of Wall Street. And we want to bring him on because I want to ask him what his thoughts are. So, Jeff, let's cue Jeff in. Jeff, can you dive into some of the questions, some of the comments, and just start off anywhere you want. But I want to dive into some of those really key points. So, Jeff, go ahead. Take it away.
Let's just start off by discussing, what I see, what's going on in the markets. And yesterday I was on Reuters TV. And we were discussing one magical thing that's going on right now. And, well, I wouldn't say magical, but
I wouldn't go too far.
I guess there's a little bit of a perfect storm forming. Is that one, we have negative sentiment in the market, right? It's
October.
It's October 16th.
October.
We're starting earnings season, so you have a lot of, you're going to have a lot of volatility going into earnings season. And going into earnings season, a lot of the market participants are very negative. They're expecting stocks to kind of miss their earnings or be whole hum. And that's been why a lot of, I think, people have been leaning towards the short side. Now, the second thing that we have going on is the S&P 500, the SPY or the ES's E-mini futures. You can look at those things to see what I'm talking about, but it is coming to its all-time high, but it's also coming to a extreme level of the 3,000 level where
3,000,
it has not been able to stay above 3,000 and kind of grind higher like we've seen over the last few years. So you have this negative sentiment, sentiment in the market, right? That we're waiting for earnings seasons to come out. We're at almost all-time highs, but we're at a key level. And I think the next couple weeks or the next 10 days as earnings start to come out, we're going to really see if this market can go higher going into the end of the year, or are we going to fail up here for the third or fourth time? And if we fail up here, that means we could probably have a pretty significant down move. Now, significant, what does that mean? To me, I want to see a 10, 15% down move. Don't know we're going to see that going into the end of the year, but we can see a 3 to 4, maybe 5% down move. If earnings comes out kind of crappy and people, they're right about it. But here's the flip side. Now, because everybody's so negative on the market, if earnings start to come in better than expected and we start to grind through the 3,000 and hold above 3,000 and get through the 3,025,
break out a little bit,
you're going to see a nice little spot up.
I agree.
Get another 2-3%. I mean, we're already up, I think, 15 or 18% for the year. So that's kind of where we are. I'm kind of in a holding pattern here. But leaning more towards, which is going to be odd for me, to the long side. But here's the third thing you got to be concerned about, and it's the same stuff that I've talked about that we really have not much control over, and that is the Donald Trump tweets and this trade war.
Of course,
I have to talk more about this trade war. I'm kind of getting sick of it, to be honest
I hear
with you. And this week or part of last week, beginning of this week, we had a tentative deal that was done phase 1. Supposedly, but then now the Chinese are starting to retract and they want to wait to sign the deal or negotiate more stuff. So again, it is that uncertainty out there. Like, no investor likes uncertainty. We want to see certainty so we can make really good decisions, and we want the markets to move the way they're going to move without all this tweeting and the uncertainty that's out there. So that's kind of my take on what I believe is going to happen over the next 10 days. And we're going to see, what happens. So how do you, take advantage of that? Well, one, you could either stay in cash. Two, you can protect yourselves, right? If you really feel like you think there's going to be more to the downside, Obviously, you can look to buy puts, buy put spreads. You can sell calls since we're almost, or call spreads. I mean, since we're really close to the top of a range.
Good premium on that high
and
range.
then if you're bullish, again, you flip it on the other side. You buy calls, you buy call spreads. You can buy the indexes outright. I think there's a combination of both.
Hey, Jeff, awesome. I really appreciate it. I think those are some really valid and very important points that you bring up. Jeff joins us from his home office, but just jump in to give us a couple different things. And he gave us 3 really great tips. So I hope that as you guys listen to the commentary, and I bring some more talent, and I bring individuals that I always say are a lot smarter, know a lot more than me. I want you to be able to hear their perspective and not just mine. Because I think, individuals like Jeff with Tactical Income, they bring a lot of experience to folks like us, just retail investors that are trying to figure this out. Guys, thanks for joining me, the Hawaiian Trader. Thanks for hearing a little bit from Jeff Tomasulo, Tactical Income. Can't wait to keep bringing you more, so keep tuning in. Thanks again for joining us.